Greetings, this is Paul the Pope from paulthepope.com. Today's topic, Revelation, Laodicea, choose heavenly garments. Scripture references out of Revelation 3, verse 18, part B, and white garments, so that you may clothe yourself, and the shame of your nakedness may not be seen. So Jesus is recommending, quote, white garments. This is a priestly garment. And the term for the garment in the Greek is emateion. And a garment is a long flowing outer tunic, cloak, or robe, and that's per Strong's Concordance. Now, the color white is indicative of purity. Heavenly priestly garments are made of linen. Exodus 28 gives instructions for the priestly garments. The clothing for the priest is to be made of linen. Exodus 28, verse 5, they shall take the gold and the blue and the purple and the scarlet material and the fine linen. Now, this concept is stated 7 more times in Exodus 28. Priestly garments are of linen, and you can see that from Exodus 28, verse 6, verse 8, verse 15, 39, it's mentioned twice, and verse 42 of chapter 28, book of Exodus. Laodicea, on the other hand, was a prominent textile producer. It was world famous for its black wool, and that's per Holman Bible Dictionary. Now, the culture had infiltrated the church with worldly materialism. The church in Laodicea and locals were proud of their earthly wool clothing, as opposed to the white linen garments Christ was offering. Laodicea loved their black clothing. And you may clothe yourself, and the shame of your nakedness may not be seen. Now, the locals needed clothes because they were spiritually naked. And this church thinks they have the finest of clothes. They are hip and trendy. Job 26, verse 6, naked is Sheol before him, and Abaddon has no covering. The meaning of Abaddon is destruction. Sin and destruction are both naked. Sin is naked before God, and that's pretty much the way it was in the garden, if you think about it. Adam standing there naked in front of God after he sinned. And in the final analysis, there is no covering of sin apart from the cross work of Christ. God has always made provision for the sin of humanity. And apart from God, sin will be exposed, bare, and raw. Sin's path leads to destruction. Proverbs 15:11 confirms this. Sheol and Abaddon lie open before the Lord. How much more the hearts of men? So like Adam and Eve in the garden, the church at Laodicea had an earthly solution for their covering. The Lord has a heavenly solution with priestly linen. Christ has done the work. Jesus says they need to cover themselves. Sin is embarrassing. So, again, this is the series, the churches in Revelation. We're on the last church, Laodicea, and approaching the end of this series. If you guys are interested, you can scroll down on the right-hand side of the column and click on the category Revelation. It will take you to all of the different studies and different articles that have been written on the topic, and here's just an example of how this, but archive for the Revelation category. Appreciate you guys following along. Hope you have a great evening. Talk to you later. Bye.